Treat me like a treat me. Exceptional. Girl, you gotta love yourself. Like, love yourself and leave that person alone. Whether it be a man, a friend, or your family member, or whoever, let people be, leave people alone. First of all, being a human, you should never expect anything from anyone. If they want to treat you an amazing way, that's because they're doing it out of the pureness of their heart. No one owes you shit. So if that friend cancels because something happened in her life, or if that guy cancels, or if your friend just cuts you off for no reason, that's their prerogative. Have no expectations of other people. Listen, we're all put on this earth to make each other happy and make ourselves happy first, because we can't make others happy if we're not happy ourselves. We can't give food to someone if we don't have the food. Like, it makes no logical sense. We can't give people money if we don't have money ourselves. Like, logical common sense, but apparently common sense is not so common. Listen, leave that man alone. Leave that person alone. Out of pure respect, number one, because honestly, like, you don't owe anyone anything. Imagine someone being like, you should do this for me, you should do that for me. You don't even like it when your own mother tells you to do that. You don't like it when your own employer tells you to do what you're paid to do. So how are you expecting a friend or a whole ass man to do something that you want to do? Like, girl, you're not Hitler. Like, let people breathe, let people live. If people want to go and live their lives, that's up to them. If that's pure disrespect on their part on you, then leave them. And that's all you have to do. We're not doing it maliciously. We are just recognizing and respecting that we are on two different life paths, and that's totally okay. I would suggest catching it as early as possible. At the same time, if you're having fun, then have fun. But know that if you're getting emotional about it, then we gotta cut that person off, because we can't expect anything from anyone. Even if you are in a 10-year marriage, even if it's your own mother who birthed you, who is your kid, we cannot expect anything from anyone, because they are their own separate humans. They are born into their world. They are going through life, their childhood, teenage years. They've been in love. They have feelings. They have these different wants. They're on different life paths. So who are you to ask for all of these expectations? There are so many times in my life where I expected something from boyfriends, from friends, and then I recognized people don't owe you shit. And that's good, because when someone actually does come to you, they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. And if they're not, kick their ass to the curb, respectively. Or maybe not, depending on the situation. But we really cannot be sitting here and saying, this man has to do this for me. If he doesn't do that, and you have high standards, kick that ass to the curb next. You are allowed to have those standards, but standards are a little bit different from expectations. We want to bring our expectations down and our standards up. If you're not meeting my standards without any expectations, I'm gonna drop you, because we're obviously not a match. We're obviously not a pair, and that's okay. I'm not salty about it. I'm not mad about it. We just have separate, different lives, and that's okay. And I respect your decision and your life. Every single person has the ability to choose to leave you at any moment, because it is their prerogative. It is their life. It's their karma. For example, if someone cheats on you, of course they are in the wrong. If they do it behind your back, of course, like, what the fuck? But if they are coming to you respectfully saying, hey, I don't love you anymore, and they haven't cheated or anything and they're breaking up with you, that is their prerogative. If they want to go out with their friends and you don't like it, that's your problem. And now you have to decide, either you want to accept him for who he is or you're going to leave him. And I suggest leave him every single time, because obviously your life paths are different. Your opinions and preferences are different. We don't want to be with someone who has different morals, who wants to go out all the time and you're focusing on your career. I mean, that's okay if you're okay with it, but most of the time we want a partner that's living their own lives. Oh my God, thank God my mic is on. I'm always so paranoid. But yeah, we really don't want to force anything on anyone. So leave that man alone. Number 2, do you love yourself? Do you even love yourself? Like, without anyone else, like, push back everyone else for a second. Like, imagine yourself as a 6-year-old having fun, doing whatever 6-year-olds do, and like, that was you. Spoiler alert, that's still you. Go into yourself, go into your soul, and recognize that you are this being, this whole being that has loves, that has hates, that has opinions, that has different tastes, that has gone through different things, that, you know, has this whole life inside of themselves. You are an entire world. Love yourself and respect yourself, and recognize if that man is not texting you back, or it's a first date and he's asking you for the location, he's asking you to plan the date. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to get emotional. If that is how you are, if you haven't learned yet, that is your prerogative, that is your life. You can do whatever you want. That's okay. But I don't want no parts. I don't want a fraction. I don't want a half. I don't want a whole. I don't want any parts of that pie. Thank you very much. Because I love myself. I know what I want. I know that there are people in this world that can provide me with what I want. And not only that, but they are doing it out of such pure happiness and joy, because I know in my heart I will give the absolute world to someone, like the absolute world, and I only expect the best for myself as well, because I know what I'm capable of. I know how deeply I love, and I'm not just going to give that away to anyone, whether it be a boyfriend, a friend, a family member. I know who I love, and I love them. Going even deeper than that, like the people that are in your life, you can't expect to have your way every single time. It's not a compromise. It's respecting the person and knowing that they have their own life. Do I like it when sometimes, like, my friend cancels plans? To be honest, I really don't, because we made plans, I'm looking forward to it. But also, I'm respecting the fact that that person has not even like an explanation, like they just don't want to. And it doesn't matter whether I like it or not, I'm respecting their decision. And again, it's up to me to decide whether I want to kick them to the curb or to let them be in my life. It's also a two-way street. Instead of crying, instead of complaining about the fact that that guy isn't even snapping you back and watching his snap score go up, girl, like, love yourself. Take a look at yourself in the mirror. Do you know that there are people in rooms right now so depressed because they don't have someone to love? And you have so much love inside of you that you can literally love yourself and love them. Like, you have so much love in your heart. Why are you giving it away to someone who's not loving you back? They're not loving you back because of them, or because of their life path, or because of what they want right now. Irregardless, that's their journey. That's their path. And I'm sorry to break it to you guys, but that's okay. That's their prerogative. They can have that choice. What's not okay is them disrespecting you, lying to you. People almost always tell you exactly who they are, whether it's in a form of a joke or they're not texting you back straight away, and you should count that as a blessing. If he's not planning the first day, the first couple of dates and paying for it, like, I don't know what to tell you, girl. Like, it's like a first grader. Like, they're in first grade right now, going through their own things every day, and they're learning, and you're up top in grade 12. Like, why are you fucking with a first grader? That sounded really bad, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Love yourself, leave that man alone, focus on yourself, expect nothing from absolutely anybody, and completely, absolutely be so grateful when people do things out of the goodness of their hearts. Because honestly, like, if you give like expectations to people and you're like, I want this from you, and then they do it, like, I used to love that so much because I'm like, oh, it's like a respect. Like, they know, they've listened to what I want. But it's like, if you're not doing it out of the goodness of your heart, or if you're not using your own love language, like, that's okay. Like, I'm respecting that people have different love languages, and I'm not saying like they have to perfectly like do everything by the book. But at the same time, I have standards, and I'm like, I know that there are people out there that will naturally, without me saying it, right? Like, if you're not doing that, that's okay. That's okay. But go do that somewhere else and don't waste my time. Leave that man alone. Stop texting him. Stop crying about him. Stop talking about him. Stop manifesting him. Because it's not his fault. It's your fault for entertaining it. He's basically already telling you what he wants by how he's acting. So you're the one that's still trying and trying and trying for him to love you. But why would you want to try to do that? Why not have someone in your life that does that naturally? And if you don't have that person in your life, then it's not time yet. Then it is not time yet. And if you keep attracting these kind of people, you're going to keep learning the same lessons, but you're not really going to keep learning them because they're going to keep coming into your life. So what I suggest to do is to kick absolutely every single person to the curb until you find people that meet your standards, and trust that there are an infinite amount of those kind of people out there. Love yourself, leave them alone.